Our journals are creative biographies where each image and word tells part of our story and shares a piece of who we are. Hi everyone, I'm JD from Willow Bound Journals. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're here for the first time. I am a journaler, a journal maker and teacher of journaling courses, and today I am so excited to share with you my new journaling course. It is called the Inspiration Journal Course, which is a collage art journaling course. So I will be sharing my process making this journal in front of you. I named it the Inspiration Journal, and I will take you through the entire process from start to finish of how I put this journal together page by page, so that you can follow along at home and make your own inspiration journal. I will share a full flip through of my journal later on in this video, but first I'll share some information about the course, about how it will run, what materials you'll need and that kind of thing. So the Inspiration Journal course is a free 30-day course run right over here on my YouTube channel, and there will be a daily collage prompt to prepare your journal pages. So basically what the free journal course entails is making one of these. So I just had so much fun making this, and I'll share a bit more about why I created this journal and why it was so helpful for me and how I want to spread that on or pass that on to you guys at home, and hope that it's helpful for you too. But yeah, exactly what you see here is what I will take you through my process so that you can follow along and make this at home if you would like to. And there is an optional daily journaling prompt as well if you actually want to add writing to your journal, which I will definitely be doing that with mine. For me, this is just preparing the pages as a backdrop, as a background, so I can add more photos, more ephemera, and my personal writing. So these are just a base for me, but this in itself, this journal project, collaging each page, was itself so therapeutic for me, and that's what I want to share with you over here on my channel. So that's what you'll be seeing each day as well, a daily video from me showing my collage process, and I'll also be sharing ideas and inspiration of how I put the pages together and how they inspire my journaling, my prompts for journaling, what kind of pieces I'll add to the pages, that kind of thing. But I love that what we already put on the page for our collage, they are already meaningful pieces and tell parts of our story just by what we put by the collage. So you don't have to do any journaling whatsoever, because the pieces here that you choose, the words and images that you stick down onto these pages already tell a story, is part of your self-expression. So I just found this process so enjoyable, so relaxing, and so therapeutic. There will also be 15 free printables available for you guys over on my Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee. They will be scattered throughout the course. So every few days or so you will get a freebie. So I'll definitely let you know in each video when there's a freebie and show you what that is. And there is an optional 30-page printable, a PDF, with over 100 pieces. There's actually over 150 pieces of collage pieces, some of which are the same as mine. So you get this piece here, you get one of these types of envelopes with the window, you get some blank vintage paper, you get some music paper, you get some labels, some linens, doilies, so lots and lots of things, ledger paper. You get so many different collage pieces, so that you can have a piece of me in your journal, or if you don't have many materials at home and you're just building up your stash, that could help you create your own collage journal, or just enhance it if you do have your own stash. But yeah, it's completely optional, because the idea is that you'll be using what you already have, that because it's pieces that are going to be meaningful to you, that will tell part of your story. But yeah, that's just an optional fun thing that you can definitely, of course, use for other creative projects if you want, not just this course. But yeah, definitely had fun making that. That is available now in my Etsy, or it will also be available for my Ruby patrons and higher tiers. There will also be extra videos on my Patreon for my Sapphire patrons, which is the video tier. So as you can see, I haven't done any journaling in this journal yet. So for a perk to thank my beautiful patrons for their amazing support. Without them, I could not do this channel. So I will be doing my journaling prompts, sharing that process day by day over on Patreon as well. So you get the free version with making this entire book page by page with the collage videos. And then each day, if you want more videos and you want to have more journaling inspiration, you can check out the journaling video over on my Patreon. But you definitely don't need that. Again, it's optional. You will all already have the journaling prompts. They are free as well. So you can go ahead and do your own journaling if you would like. Or, as I said, just keep it as a collage book. So before I share about the materials that you'll be needing for this course, let me share a bit of a letter to you guys. This is a freebie as well. I will have this available for you guys either over on my Patreon or buy me a coffee so you can download and print that. And I will just read it out to you. Dear journalers, I'm so excited to go on this journaling journey with you. I created this course because it's what I needed at the time for my own well-being and mental health. Creating and journaling helps me to express myself and know myself better. It gives me joy and rest. I wanted to share this course with you so that it may help you in these areas too. Happy journaling, JD. So yeah, basically I was going through a bit of a rough time and lacking inspiration and hadn't created for a while, and so this collage journal was just the best thing for me, and I absolutely loved it. It was just so much fun, so good for my soul, and I just got so much out of it, and hope that you get so much out of it too. This collage process using scraps that are meaningful to me and also treasures, and combining all of these things, these papers and pieces of ephemera and pieces of scraps that I've been possibly keeping for years, some of them. It was just so wonderful to be able to have a place, a journal, a book, to put them all together in a wonderful, creative, therapeutic way. So this journaling course combines everything, like random scraps, treasure pieces, photos, ephemera, all sorts of goodies, things that maybe you have been holding on to for a long time, or things that you've just put aside randomly thinking, oh, I want to use that, but I don't know how. This is a holding place, a safe place where you can gather all of these things that speak to you, that inspire you, that spark something inside of you, that you love, that make you happy, that make you smile, or that just remind you of something or tell a piece of who you are. You can put that all together on the pages of your collage journal, where you are putting together your own pages that connect with you, that share about who you are. And by doing that process, you get to know yourself more, you get to express yourself on these pages and get to see yourself on these pages. So I really hope that this journaling practice is something that you grow to love each day, something that gives you so much joy, and something that just helps with your own soul, your own peace and well-being. So let's get into what materials you will be needing to do this course. So the first thing is obviously a book or journal. I created an altered book journal, meaning that I took an existing book and covered the pages with my collages. So I used an old Yellow Pages phone book, which is a phone book that we get here in Australia for free. And I was looking for a book from the op shop. I got, for my Anchor Journal course that I've done previously, it was a recipe book that I thrifted from an op shop, and I just love the large pages and turned this into an altered book journal. So I was looking for the same kind of thing, but I couldn't find anything at the op shop. So when I got this phone book for free, I was like, you know what, let's just use that. The great thing about using thrifted books or free stuff like this is we're not going to be too precious about it, okay? And that's why we're using scraps and things as well. We're not being precious, we're not being perfectionistic. The whole point of this course is just to have fun and be scrappy and messy and put things on the page. Just gather these things that we love, gather these things that speak to us, gather these things that mean something to us, and put them onto the page. So don't worry too much if you make mistakes, if there's ragged edges, make it a bit rustic. It's just a holding place for these pieces. So that helps me to kind of set the tone if I get something from the op shop or just, you know, a phone book. It helps me think, oh, okay, I don't need to be too precious, rather than, you know, if I bought an amazing junk journal or something. So yeah, I used an altered book. So if you want to go find a book, maybe go to the op shop or just have a look at what you already have on your shelf. I definitely recommend an altered book journal, because that's what I did for my collage journal, and that way you just cover each page. But if you don't have a book that's suitable, I'll give you some other ideas. You can pretty much use anything. You could just use a blank visual diary, something like this, you know, where the pages are completely blank canvas, so that you can just collage all over that thing. Every single page in our collage journals is going to be covered. Every square inch of the page in this whole entire book will be entirely covered. So you don't want like really pretty pages in your journal, that kind of thing. So you could use a junk journal if you want, but I definitely suggest something more with blank pages, or a book, an altered book, so that you can cover the pages. But you know, you do you use what you already have at home and find something that will work for you. It doesn't matter what size you use. You might want to just do a small collage journal. You might want to do a square collage journal. You might want to do a massive collage journal. It doesn't matter what size at all, but we will be covering each page. That's the key thing to note. Of course, we'll be using some scissors, or just ripping pages as well, do a lot of that. We will be using glue. The two glues that I use are Bostik glue stick. This works especially well for things like tissue paper, the sewing pattern paper, napkins, that type of thing. But I also like using craft glue for heavier, like scrapbook papers, and I tend to use this for everything else, basically. I think it's just sturdy and stronger. And I just get this from a local shop where I am, like one of the cheap shops where I am here. Let's move on to the things that you'll be sticking onto your pages. So we have scraps. This is going to be pretty much your main thing that you'll be using. So I've been collecting scraps in this box for a little while now. You know, offcuts and ripped up pages from journal projects or from various creative projects. You've got illustrated book pages, dictionary pages, stamp pages, music paper, packaging goes in here as well. Book pages, full-on book pages. When I do journal surgery and change them to suit me, if they're getting too chunky, I will rip out pages. So this was a ripped out page, for example. So I consider that, you know, just scraps, but I want to reuse that somehow. Just scraps of ledger paper, scraps of writing paper, scraps of coloured paper, little doily scrap pieces. Here's the pattern paper, offcuts from magazines, you know, just all sorts of different things. Full book pages, you know, sometimes you have loose pages. Printables as well. You know, when you have offcuts of printables, you know, offcuts of paint chips I've got in here, scrapbook paper offcuts. So this was the start of my scrap journal. Tissue paper here. We've got coffee dye paper, textured paper, all different sorts of things in here. I'm pretty sure you would have your own scrap things at home. Got napkins there, we've got vellum, you know, so just a whole bunch of scraps. I've got envelopes in there too, from junk mail, things like that. Gather your scraps. Now, I tend to, with my scraps, put not just random things, random offcuts, but also pretty things that I love, but just not sure what to do with. Sometimes I'll cut out like a picture from a book and I don't know what to do with it, but I just like that picture, so I'll just chuck it in here, for example. So scraps doesn't necessarily mean just random things that you don't care about. Scraps can also mean just one-offs of something that you love, that you just like, where do I put it? Just put it there. Or like a really pretty paper that you just want to do something with, but not sure what to do with that paper, so put it in here. So scraps can mean rubbish, or scraps can mean treasure to you. So scraps. You also want to have some book pages, as I showed you here. I've got ripped book pages, but I also have, you know, books that I got from the op shop, like vintage books, poetry books, just novels, dictionaries, encyclopedias, that type of thing, children's books as well. So any of the normal junk journal style books that you have, botanical books, floral books, yeah, go nuts with any books that you already have. Then I also have used magazines. So let's have a look. I use Daphne's Diary magazine, so I will just use this to look for images and words to cut out. In Her Studio is another one that I really enjoy, and the only other one that I have been using. So I've been cutting out quite a few images from this one as well. And basically what I just do is put them all into another box or basket. So I rip out full-size pages, you know, here at the back, and then I cut out smaller pieces, and then I put all my words in a glassine bag. So what I'm looking for is just anything that makes me happy, anything that inspires me, anything that I want to use as well. So magazine pieces. Also things like photos. If you have photos that you've printed out but don't know what to do with, like I often print out duplicates and use one in my journal, and then I have a spare and I don't really know what to do with it, but I love the photo so much that I'm not going to throw it out. So any like random photos that you may have, or you could specifically print out photos for this course if you want. Ephemera as well, ephemera from your own life, ephemera that you pick up, or bought ephemera, vintage ephemera, all that fun stuff. Everything junk journal related you could put into this journal. And then paint is another one, since it's an art journal as well as a collage journal, a place to be creative. I used just cheap acrylic paint. So you could use whatever paint you want, of course, but I want something thick that I can lay down rather than watercolor. And I actually use a lot of metallic paint. And I do suggest getting some black paint, because one of our pages we do black paint. But yeah, just getting us, you know, trying some different things. And so paint, and then some other things that go with the daily prompts, which I will be sharing later on in this video too. Washi tape, especially for your spines. I use washi tape to go down the middle. So if you're doing an altered book especially, when you rip out pages, because obviously you're sticking stuff onto your pages, so it's going to bulk up. So I rip out maybe 3 pages in between each collaged page, and then you're left with like this scrappy bit. You could either glue the pages together, of course, but I just covered it over with washi tape down the spine. And even if it was neat, what the washi tape does is kind of holds it in place where the glue is here. Like I find the glue lifts up in the middle. So for me, the washi tape serves 2 purposes. One is obviously decorative, but also to hold each of these elements down in the middle so it doesn't lift up. So yeah, washi tape was essential for me. I use washi tape pretty much on every single page spread. Other things that I used: envelope, postage stamps, doilies, music paper, pattern paper, and fabric. And then other optional items, things that I have used and or will use: lace, ribbon, buttons, sequins, glitter. So of course you don't need this full list, but if you want the same things that I used in my journal, I'm just giving you that list. Printables as well. So I did use some printables in my journal, especially things like doilies and linens. I love using printable doilies and linens. And again, that's optional. Hopefully you won't have to spend a single dollar on this course to create this. It's totally free, like I said, to create this, hopefully using things that you already have from home. But if you're like me, I wanted to include printables of things that I enjoyed that inspire me. So it could be printables from some of your favorite junk journalists. For me, it's Johanna Clough and Amity Bloom. Or there are printables that I have included with the course. There are 15 freebies. Actually, there's more than 15 freebies in total for the course that I'll be sharing throughout the course. As mentioned, they'll be on my Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee. And then here is the 30-page PDF document that I have been working on for weeks and weeks now, scanning and formatting, designing, putting together for you guys. I just kept getting more and more ideas of things I wanted to share with you. And yeah, it's a 30-page optional printable document for you guys. So you definitely don't need it. But like I said, if you don't have a stash, you're just starting out, this could be something that could help. Or if you just, want the same things, you can go ahead and grab this. It's in my Etsy right now. All my Ruby patrons have access to it as well. So I will take you through this 30-page document and show you some of the elements, some of which I've used in my own journal here, and some are just extras because I did want to have that option for those who might not have your own stash yet. You could still do the course using, what you can find at home, plus these collage pieces. So you can rip them up, you can cut them and piece them together, collage them together in whatever way you would like. So we've got music, we've got lots of neutrals because I love vintage, that's my favorite theme, and just journal cards and things. So some of them you can print out on cardstock if you want and use them as actual journal cards. But I wanted to have a nice mix of different collage pieces for backgrounds and also for journaling. So some aren't suited for journaling, but others are suited for writing on if you would so like to have journaling in your collage journal. Got vintage library card, vintage postcard, vintage envelopes, vintage stamp. These are some pieces they made for you for one of our first pages that we'll be doing together. Some quote cards. And this one I have made for all of you guys. And this is a freebie for the course, which you can have access to right now. This is the first freebie, along with all these information sheets and everything, my letter to you. All of these will be free for you to print and set up your journals with. Our journals are creative biographies where each image and word tells part of our story and shares a piece of who we are. So that's the heart of this journal course. We've got some labels, we've got some doilies and linens, which I love. We've got some journal cards, vintage ones, and all of the freebies, the 15 freebies, will be incorporated in this. So the people who purchase this kit will also get all the freebies in it as well. You don't have to go somewhere else to get the freebies. They're all included in here. Some of these you might be like, why is that in there? But it will be relevant. Some of them are literally pieces that I'm including in my journal. For example, this will be in here. This is already in there. So like little pieces from me that I'm sharing that are very personal to me and mean something to me that I also want to share with you. This is some typing that I did with my typewriter. So that's very meaningful to me. Some photos that I took and just some things that inspire me. Like everything on this, in this journal and in this PDF, they're all things that inspire me. These are some color swatches or paint chips that I made. Again, that means something to me. This is one of our prompts for one of the days for a found poem. That's one that I did. Some more personal ephemera. One of the prompts is personal ephemera, and all of these are personal to me, which I will again share with you for the day when we do it. I'll share all about that. We've got some library cards, index cards, envelopes, so fun with the windows, a gold doily, so pretty. Some vintage ledgers. I use this particular one in my journal. So I was so excited to be able to scan it first before I put them into my journal so that you could also have a piece of it. Love this vintage ledger. And there's some full pages as well. So if you want, you could just literally cut this out, stick it on your journal, and there's your background, and then you can collage over it, or just leave it as is if you want. You can just cover the page with a whole page if you want. Some of my pages aren't necessarily collaged together. It's just I've cut out one page and stuck it straight onto my page. A beautiful doily. But again, you could just cut these up into little sections and use them as collage pieces. So blank paper, and you can print these out as many times as you want, of course. So as you put them together differently on each page, you get different looks using the same pieces. And I wanted to give you, the writing space. So you could use this for collage, but you could cut this out for writing space as well. So yeah, that is the document that has been taking me forever to put together, but finally it is finished and available. Okay, but I do want to reiterate, use what you have, thrift what you don't have, and use pieces that are meaningful to you. So here is a list of the daily prompts for those who want them right from the start. Maybe you want to print this out and stick it in your journal For others, you might just want to be surprised each day what the prompt is. So yeah, we've got 30 days of journaling, and just a little note here, the cover comes last because I didn't know how chunky and how wide the spine would become, so I just wanted to be safe and do the cover last. So that is our last prompt on day 30 to do the cover. So if you want to do it the same as me, you can do that in the same order I do that. So yeah, I have gone ahead and written out the collage prompt first. So neutral, I'll just give you an example here. This is my first page and it's all neutral themed, as you can see. Day 2 was to use an envelope. So this is the inside of an envelope with a window. So that was day 2 envelope. And then over here, this part is the journaling prompt for those who want to actually journal in their collage journal. So introduction, my idea being that we will, you know, on our first page, I always like to do an introduction page, set up our journals with the details of the journal. Why are we journaling in it? What's it called? I'm going to call mine the inspiration journal. And maybe you want to write the date you started it, the date you finished it, and all of that kind of thing. So yeah, here is that list. It will be available on my Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee for you to download and print with all of the prompts. And also it kind of shares some of the materials that you'll be needing. So obviously you'll be needing neutral materials for day 1, an envelope for day 2. You'll need washi tape for day 20. You'll need a book page for day 13. So if you want to be prepared, you can work your way through the list and just make sure you have all of these different types of things: a doily, a stamp, a postage stamp, a scrapbook paper, a map, music paper, pattern paper from sewing patterns, you know. So you might want to be looking through books. You might want to be looking through magazines and just ripping out things, cutting out things, adding them to your scrap pile, in preparation for this course. I'm putting this video out now so that you'll have a few days to get ready. My plan is to officially start day 1 for this course on Friday, Australia time. So it will give you the week to, you know, gather your supplies, find your journal or find your book, and then come Friday, I thought that would be a nice place to start, or time to start, because then we have the weekend to get stuck into this and set us up. And of course, go at your own pace. You know, if you can't do it daily, you know, skip days that aren't resonating with you, or come back to days. If you're anything like me, I tend to do like 3 days in one, then have a bit of a break, and then I'll do another 3 days, or yeah, I'll do things more in bulk. But yeah, or you could do it daily, but go at your own pace and just have fun with your journal. If you would like to share your pages with me, I would love to see them. I love seeing filled journals. That's my favorite thing, a journal being used. So feel free to tag me if you're over on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram. Tag me so I can see what you have done. I would love, it would be such an honor to be able to see a peek inside your journals. Or if you just want to comment in the description box, not the description box, in the comments below of any of the videos, and just share what you've done, or maybe write a response to any of the journaling prompts, feel free to do that. And yeah, I hope you guys have so much fun with this course. I'm so excited to share it with you. Let me know in the comments of this video if you're going to be joining, and let me know what materials you'll be using. What kind of scraps you like, what kind of things you were gathering. I'd love to hear all about it, and let me know when you're ready as well down in the comments. And yeah, I'm just so excited for this journey with you. And let's do a flip through to end this video. It's super long, but there's a lot of information to gather that I want to share with you so we can all know what's happening. But if you have any questions, put them in the comments too. And without further ado, let's do a flip through of this journal. And I already have one on my channel, but I thought let's all have it all in one place for people who want to just come to one video to see it all. It is a creative space, this journal, and it's an inspiration journal. So they're just words from magazines, book pages, music paper, washi tape, doily, magazine image here, magazine image from Daphne's Diary, some ledger paper there that I've used. So it kind of sets the tone. But like I said, I did my cover last. So here we go. My first page, oh my gosh, I just loved it. It was so fun doing this. And yeah, I want to say so much, but I'll save it till the, the actual days where I share each video for this course. But yeah, I hope you just have so much fun. Doing this journal was just so good for my soul. And I'd never done a purely straight collage journal before, but now that I've done it, I definitely want to do more of this. I love the look of the pages. I love how it was a place for me to just use all of those random scraps and also my treasures and put them into one place. I love it. So yeah, have fun gathering your scraps, gathering your treasures, gathering all your bits and pieces, the things that you love, the things that make you happy. This is one of my paint pages. I had so much fun with this. So much fun. I've used paint on quite a lot of my pages, so that's why I've included paint as one of the materials you'll be needing. Again, use what you have though, and if paint doesn't resonate with you, just collage. Use the prompts. They're just starting off points. So I'm just getting distracted by how beautiful this is. Keanu, my cat, this is a photo prompt page. So gorgeous. And like, for example, this paper I've been keeping for a long time, and I knew I wanted to use it somehow for a cat page, but didn't have quite the project for it. And finally, just trying to use up as many of those scraps, use up as many of those treasures as possible in this one journal. And then now that I've finished this journal, I just want to keep going and using up the scraps, using up those meaningful pieces to me. This one is about a movie that I loved as a child. This one's color palette. This one I had so much fun with. It's one of my favorite pages. This is the one using black paint. And I just had so much fun using the gold, using my finger to do that, and adding some sequins. See, like these optional extras that you might want to use in your journal. And just combining different things. I love it. This is one of those pages where I didn't do much collage. I literally just stuck on, a page that inspired me. Like, oh, I love it. I'll talk more about that when we get to that day. Love, 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 love. So this is a page where I'm just collecting everything I love about typewriters. So anytime I find a photo or a picture of a typewriter, I just put it, I want to put it on this page. So I've got more typewriter pictures that I will be adding later on when I do my journaling. This is our found poem prompt day. Ballet, you know how much I love ballet. This is our dream prompt page. This is person you admire page, a treasure page, letter. Oh, one of my favorite books when I was a kid was The Velveteen Rabbit, and I just love the illustration here and the blue flowers. This is also one of my favorite pages, and it's the most personal page out of all the pages in this journal. So yeah, keen to share with you about this page too on the day where I do the process for that one. More inspiration, just gathering things that inspire me and putting them on the page. So much inspiration. Of course I had to do a page with Daphne's Diary. Of course, that magazine inspires me so much, so I definitely had to do one with that. And the book Granny Chic, that inspires me too. So sometimes books would just inspire me, and I'll just gather things from one book and use that to decorate a page. So you might want to do that as well. And then the last page here, another book that inspired me, and I've got this is one of those pages where everything fox I'll put on this page. So I'll have some other pictures of foxes that I'll be putting on this page when I do some journaling. And then that is the back of my journal. So I absolutely love it. I should have mentioned this before, but 30 pages. There's 30 days of the course, so obviously 30 collages we'll be doing, and I do double page spreads, and one of the pages I'm calling the cover. So this is day 30, and that's my page spread for day 30, the cover. If you want, you can do a smaller journal and just do a single page. So day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, if you want to do it that way. When I was first doing this course, as you'll see later on when I share the first video, I thought I was maybe only going to do the right-hand side pages, but then I got inspired and I did full double page spreads for each collage page. So yeah, have fun with that and find your own journal. Obviously, when you have an altered book, just keep the book as is. You might want to pre-prepare it so that there's 30 pages in it or 30 spreads in it. But for me, as you follow along, I literally just kept it as is. I didn't rip out any pages until I'd done my pages. So I did this page, then I ripped out, say, 5 pages here. Then I did this page, ripped out 3 pages here. I didn't have any rhyme or reason to it because I just did what I felt like. Like I said, it's not perfectionistic or anything like that. So don't get too hung up about how many pages do I rip out and all that kind of thing. Just do what feels right to you. If you want to do a pattern, you could do 1, rip out 3, 1, rip out 3, 1, rip out 3, for example. So 1 collage, rip out 3, 1 collage, rip out 3, or rip out 5, or rip out 7. Depends how thick your book is, yeah? But yeah, you can figure that out as you go along, depending on as well how chunky you like your journal. I don't want mine too chunky, so I could have, you know, doubled the pages I had in this book and done 60-page spreads and had more of like a chunky book, but I like mine to not be too much past the width of the spine, so nice and compact. So yeah, you don't have to have just 30 then. You could go 60 if you're having so much fun and want to go past the date of this 30 days. But yeah, if you want to do what I'm doing for those people who want a formula and want exact instructions and want to do the same thing as me, 30 pages or 29 inside plus 30 your cover. So yeah, if you have any questions, I hope I haven't forgotten anything. If I have, I'll chuck them down in the description box. All the information will be there. The links to all the downloads and printables and everything will be there. And I hope you just have so much fun with this course. And I would love to hear from you throughout the course and how you're going with it too. Usually when I do these courses, it is a paid course with a course website, so that I'm able to interact with my journalers, and they get to share with me what they've done. So this is going to be a bit interesting seeing how it goes running it on my channel. But yeah, I'd love to have that more interactive nature to it like I do with my other courses. So feel free to write in the comments and tag me with your photos. Share your photos in Willow bound journals. And I'd love to see what you do with this course, and I really hope it helps. Alright guys, I've gone on long enough in this video, but I hope I've been comprehensive and thorough with the information to hold your hand and walk alongside with you on this fun collaging journey with you guys. So I'm here with you every step of the way as we go through this journey, and I'll be back on Friday with our first video and first prompt. I'll see you then guys. Be sure to journal your life because your stories matter. Thank you to my beautiful patrons who supported me in April. Thank you so much for allowing me to do this for another month. It really means the absolute world to me, and I could not do this without you. If you would like to become a patron in May, I will leave the link below to my Patreon down in the description box. That's where you get access to more videos from me, personal updates, printables, and if you're a Ruby patron or higher, you get every single digital kit from my Etsy with a new kit each month. If you would like to support my channel through a one-off donation, you can do that through PayPal to my email address or through Buy Me a Coffee. And if you'd like to be part of any of my journaling courses, I'm starting them again in May for the month of May. So feel free to email me to register, and I hope you have fun journaling your life because your stories matter.